How did a Corsican boy rise to become one of the most feared military strategists in the world? This is the tale of Napoleon Bonaparte, a man of humble beginnings who ascended to power through his unrivaled military acumen. A visionary, a leader, a strategist, Napoleon's genius lay not only in his understanding of warfare, but also in how he used it to shape the political landscape of his time. This is the story of Napoleon Bonaparte, the battlefield genius. His tactics revolutionized the art of warfare. The year was 1796, and a young Napoleon was given command of the French army in Italy. As he stepped onto the battlefield, the Italian campaign was set into motion. Two battles in this campaign stand out: the Battle of Montenotte and the Battle of Lodi. At Montenotte, Napoleon's forces clashed with the Austrians. The French, under Napoleon's leadership, used speed and surprise to their advantage, crushing the enemy in a swift victory. The Battle of Lodi, however, was a different beast. Here, Napoleon displayed a daring audacity, leading his men across a heavily defended bridge to overcome the Austrian forces. His use of deception and audacity, coupled with the speed at which he moved his troops, left the Austrians reeling. These battles marked a turning point in the Italian campaign and showcased Napoleon's military genius. And so, at the tender age of 26, Napoleon had won his first major victories, setting the stage for his future triumphs. 2 years later, in 1798, Napoleon embarked on an ambitious expedition to Egypt. This expedition was not just a military operation, but also a scientific and cultural endeavor, showcasing Napoleon's vision of a French empire that was intellectually as well as militarily superior. The highlight of the Egyptian campaign was the Battle of the Pyramids, where Napoleon demonstrated his tactical genius once again. Faced with the Mamluk cavalry, renowned for their ferocity and prowess, Napoleon adopted the square formation. This formation, with infantry on the sides and artillery at the corners, neutralized the enemy's advantage, allowing French soldiers to fire in all directions and withstand charges from the Mamluk horsemen. However, the Egyptian expedition was not without its missteps. Napoleon's forces were eventually stranded in Egypt, cut off by the British fleet. The campaign, though grand in ambition, ended in a strategic failure. Yet despite strategic missteps, Napoleon's innovative tactics shone through in the Egyptian sands. Fast forward to 1805, and Napoleon faces the Third Coalition in what would become his greatest triumph. It was a cold December morning when armies of Austria and Russia stood against the French in the Battle of Austerlitz, a confrontation that would go down in history as the Battle of the Three Emperors. Napoleon, a master of battlefield tactics, was about to give a resounding demonstration of his strategic brilliance. The French army was outnumbered, but this did not deter Napoleon. Instead, he used it to his advantage, setting a trap for his enemies. He made his forces appear vulnerable, intentionally weakening his right flank to lure the coalition forces into a false sense of security. As dawn broke on the 2nd of December, the coalition took the bait. They attacked the seemingly weak French right, shifting their forces and leaving their own right flank exposed. Napoleon had anticipated this. His Grande Armée was not weak, but lying in wait for the perfect moment to strike. And when that moment came, they were unstoppable. The French moved with lightning speed, splitting the enemy forces and cutting off their lines of communication. The coalition armies found themselves isolated and surrounded. By the end of the day, the French had seized the Pratzen Heights, turning the tide of the battle decisively in their favor. The coalition's forces were scattered, their command structure in disarray. With the enemy in retreat, Napoleon did not let up. His pursuit was relentless, leading to a resounding victory for the French. The Battle of Austerlitz ended with staggering losses for the coalition and minimal casualties for the French. It was not merely a military victory, but a demonstration of Napoleon's exceptional strategic acumen. The Battle of Austerlitz solidified Napoleon's reputation as one of the greatest military strategists in history. His clever use of deception, his ability to anticipate the enemy's moves, and his relentless pursuit of victory were all on full display. Austerlitz wasn't just a victory, it was a testament to Napoleon's military genius. Napoleon's military career was a roller coaster of victories and defeats, but his influence on warfare cannot be overstated. We've journeyed through the Italian campaign, the Egyptian expedition, and the Austerlitz triumph, witnessing firsthand the strategic brilliance of Napoleon Bonaparte. But now, let's step back and take in the grand vista of his legacy. From his first foray into Italy to his ultimate fall at Waterloo, Napoleon revolutionized warfare. His strategies, his methods, his very approach to conflict continue to echo through the annals of military history. One of Napoleon's most significant contributions was the introduction of mass conscription. Before him, armies were mostly composed of professional soldiers and mercenaries. Napoleon, however, saw the potential in every French citizen. He mobilized the masses, transforming ordinary men and women into soldiers and support staff. This not only swelled the ranks of his armies but also instilled a sense of national unity and purpose, making his forces a formidable adversary on the battlefield. Then, there was the corps system. Instead of a single unwieldy mass, Napoleon divided his army into independent corps, each capable of standing on its own in battle. This allowed for greater flexibility and maneuverability, enabling his forces to adapt to the changing tides of war. Each corps had its own infantry, cavalry, and artillery, and could function effectively whether alone or as part of the grander army. This level of organization was unprecedented, and it set the standard for future military structures. And let's not overlook the operational level of war, a concept that Napoleon practically invented. He recognized that battles were not isolated events, but interconnected pieces of a larger puzzle. He used strategy not just in the heat of battle, but in the planning and maneuvering that happened before and after. He considered logistics, intelligence, and the morale of his troops, understanding that victory was won not just on the battlefield, but in the preparation and follow-through. Napoleon's methods were not without their flaws, and his ambition often led him to overreach, but his impact on military strategy is undeniable. He turned warfare into a science, an art, a game of chess where every move had consequences. And though his reign ended in defeat, his teachings live on. From a humble Corsican boy to a military mastermind, Napoleon Bonaparte's legacy continues to shape the battlefield to this day.